Well, hello everyone. This is Joe Drums coming to you. Hope everybody out there is doing great. I'm doing awesome. Today I wanted to talk about drum setups and how to set your drum setup. Now, obviously there's a lot of guys out there today that know how to set their drum sets up, and that's great. You know, like I said, everybody can set up a drum set, but I wanted to talk about little specific points that are kind of stuff that you might not have used or have thought of about when setting your drum set up. And so let's talk about that today. Basically what we're going to be talking about is my particular setup that I have here behind me, which is 2 toms, 2 floor toms, a snare, and the bass, of course with a double pedal. I have some cowbells. This is not exactly how I would like my cowbells to be, but I'm using these just for teaching purposes, so that I have one cowbell for certain songs that use a big cowbell and one that uses a smaller cowbell, so that I have both kind of both bells, so to speak. All the bells and whistles, as they say. But anyway, so let's get started with this, and I'm going to talk about my setup and why I have it the way I do, and hopefully some of these ideas will spark some ideas in you when you set up your drum set. If you have your drum set up a certain way and you like it that way, that's fine, but maybe there's a few points here that I might be able to touch on that you can maybe adjust some things and make it easier to play on your drum set. So let's talk about that and we'll get started. Okay, so right now the way I have my drum set up is a little different than the average person. Basically what I'm talking about right now is that normally the toms, when you have a tom holder in the bass drum, both toms are usually right here. Okay, I have mine offset with a tom stand slash cymbal stand, and it's connected right there. I also have this little mini splash. Basically it's a little stand that connects onto the tom holder, and then I have a little splash here, which is real close and kind of in between the 2 cymbals that I use for crashing. But the reason why I did this was that if you think about it, if this tom wasn't here, and I try to explain this to my drum students so they understand a little bit of why I'm doing what I'm doing, but this drum, if you pretend it's not there, I actually have one drum on the bass drum. Okay, normally there would be the other tom here, but I want my ride cymbal closer. I don't want my ride cymbal over here, and the reason for that is because it's a lot more comfortable for your arm and your shoulder to be in line right here, because everything is nice and comfortable because it's a natural position. If I move my ride cymbal over here, now my arm is opening up farther this way, and I have to use my right arm in this position to be able to play the ride cymbal. So what I did was I still wanted to have 2 toms on the bass drum, but yet I shifted them over so that gave me the room for my ride cymbal here. And then I've got of course my 2 floor toms here. So now this tom, since I have it here, now I can still use the exact way a 5-piece drum set would be on a regular drum set. Okay, so that's the reason for this. And a lot of people aren't used to this. They don't like this. In fact, when I was younger, I didn't like this because I thought going from here to here was too much of a gap. And if that's, you don't like that either, that's fine. You can still put your tom here and then put your ride cymbal over a little bit farther. But again, I like it like this because it's nice and comfortable for me right here. Or if I need to go back to the hi-hat, I've got my 2 toms here just right at my fingertips. They're real close. I don't have to reach. And I've got my 2 crashes, ride cymbal, the bass drum. If I switch to double bass, I have the double pedal here. And of course the snare drum is really kind of, exactly straight up from where the tom is. So it starts with the snare, goes up to the tom, then I could go over to the floor tom. So actually I have 2 drum sets in one. I have just the 4-piece kit, or I can have the larger kit. So I can use it either way. A lot of times when I go up here and I'm showing some students some things and I say use this tom, they end up using the second tom over here because it's not set up the same way. So that's a little confusing, I know, but I just tell them that, just pretend that this tom here is now this tom, so when I'm playing. Okay, so the next step I have some electronic stuff over on this side. I have a pad here. I have a pad here. Now, why did I do it this way? Well, if you notice, right from this spot right here, I can go right from this snare drum to a pad and hit any type of sound effect that I want. Right now, I have it set for like a shaker, and over here I've got it for like a what do they call it? A fish. So it's got that sound. And the reason why I did this way is because all I have to do is shift over, and I've got my bass pedal for my electronics, and I have my hi-hat here as well. So if we were playing on a regular kit, I have the hi-hat. This keeps it closed. If I lift my foot off, I got a hi-hat open. And then I can play my snare drum. There's a little splash cymbal there. 1 tom, 2 toms. I've got a bass drum here with a crash, and just a regular bass drum here, which is the same sound as, very similar to this one. Okay, this is called the meaty bass drum, and then this one is a birch. Then I have basically a ride cymbal, and then the hi-hat stays closed here. So I've got snare, 10-inch tom, 16-inch floor tom. So I'm anyway, so that's my percussion stuff over here. And if I need to switch to any other sound, if I want bongos, got congas and bongos right here. Again, there's that or that fish, and just kind of a shaker, or like the maracas, or whatever you want to call them. So I have that there for that reason. So if I need electronic stuff, I've got it right at my fingertips right here. Next step, I have my smaller cowbell if I need that for doing, like, you know, or if I'm doing the dun, 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 dun. Okay, so again, this is the reason why I've set everything up this way. Again, you might like it, you might not. Hopefully this will give you some ideas, and you can set up your drum set accordingly as well. Just remember, the more comfortable you are on your drum set, the easier it's going to be for you to play. So why make it hard for yourself to play on a drum set and have it harder for you to reach for things? Or if things are too close, you bump into things, and as you're going around the drums, you actually hit a cymbal by accident, which you don't mean to do. But again, it just makes a lot more sense when you're comfortable with your set, and hopefully some of these ideas will make it more comfortable for your set as well. Okay? Alright. Okay, so I hope what I've shown you today on this drum set will spark some ideas. Again, you can set up your drums accordingly to the way I have it, or maybe just a few little minor things if you need to change some things. Again, you want to make it more simple to play on the drum set, because if you're playing rush or you're doing anything that's intricate or very fast, you're going to need your drum set set up in a way so that you can get around it quickly. Okay? You don't want to be reaching for things. Again, you don't want to be too close or too high up or too low. Again, try to find that real comfortable spot where you're able to play and you're not making as many mistakes. When you get to that point, you know you've got the drum set up the way you want it and the way you need it for what you're doing. Any questions on this video, please feel free, drop me a line, or if you would like to, please subscribe to my channel, JOEDRUMS2112. Please like and subscribe I'd love to have you as a member. And please like this video. Any questions? I will see you on the next video. Until then, you guys take care. Keep rocking. This is Joe Drums signing off.